Welcome to this very short video, which is an extension, an illustration of how I've used ChatGPT with its custom instructions to inform me or to help me as a sort of data visualization buddy. So I've created some data visuals in PowerBI. I'm now using ChatGPT to review them, advise on changes, some of which I may take on board, good ideas, some of which I'm unlikely to or I'll skip. So what I've done here is I've set a load of custom instructions within my ChatGPT system within the settings area. I've then opened up ChatGPT and I've given it the following prompt to start the process. I've identified, of course, yes, it's a specialist, it's an expert with so much experience, if I could spell it correctly. And I'm seeking advice on a data visualization that I've created. And this is for a piece of software called ClassVote. The brief is really straightforward. I've got that below and I'm going to talk through that. And then now I've asked it any questions before I upload the file, which is the graphics file, the screen grab of my visualization. So I provide it with some brief. Yeah, we're looking at increasing our licenses for this. I'm having to pitch this to the senior management. There's a set of KPIs for the project which have been set, and we're taking with it through there. So I provided that information. ChatGPT comes back very, very nicely with some questions. Some of these is just not relevant. It would be if I was using ChatGPT to help me create the visuals, but I'm not. So it doesn't need to know about the software usage data, the survey data structure, historical comparisons, etc. But one thing that is quite useful is this idea of the audience. And we've touched on this before. So where are the audience? Who are they? Is this information being presented in front of a group, a live presentation, or is it a report or poster? And it says once it has this information, it can really, really help me. So what I've done is I've uploaded the visual. So as you can see from this, it's just a screen grab. The visual I'm using has got 5 KPIs on it. Each of them states if goals achieved or whatever. I'm using subtitles to give me information. I've got target lines included on them. I'm trying to use color to signify information as well, and I'm trying to keep it a really clean, consistent palette. So I've uploaded that, and then ChatGPT does the analysis, and this is a really cool thing as well. So again, think about this. This is just brilliant. I've done something, I'm working in isolation, I'm producing something, and I'm now asking it really to follow these rules of good data visualizations. So it comes back, some of which is interesting. So the KP1, KPI2, which is using the KPI visualization in Power BI. This is quite interesting. I'm not sure I can change it, but I might have a look to see if I can customize what's in the KPI card. So where it says goal at the bottom brackets +3 or minus, that again is I don't really understand what that means. So I think that's quite an interesting one to revisit and see if I can do that. Also, can I put a cross in, not an exclamation mark? Because if I've got big tick for yes, you normally associate red cross, green tick for yes, red cross for no. So again, I'm not sure if that's possible, but I will go off and I will explore and experiment in that space. Visualization 3, again, the piece I'm really taking from this is this target line perhaps can be made more prominent, and distinguishing it from the grid lines. That's an easy thing to do in Power BI, as we know. So okay, I'll look at that about changing its prominence, its color, its weighting, etc., to make it really stand out. And then of course you should have with that, as you see, this is the one it's talking about here. If this one was prominent, you could see it's above average on those pieces. The other thing it asks is about some annotation, so that might help. What's the peak in October, what it is about and why. That happens to link into a lot of usage one imagines around induction when you use a lot of class polling tools then. KPI 5, again thinking about annotation. So this is a bit, again, I've left it blank. This is a report, so I need to get this information across. So I might annotate that KPI as well for its peaks and troughs. And again, this idea of perhaps introducing one I hadn't thought about, which are the bars are quite wide and heavy. I hadn't thought about that. Perhaps I could look at making these bars a little narrower to give you a bit more white space. But again, it's got a target line that, again, using colour, we can distinguish. And finally, the tabular data of the bar chart, which I've gone, it says, is this the right one? So this is the bottom one here. So what I've done is conditional formatting in Power BI, putting a different visual in, a red cross, green tick, if it has or hasn't achieved the KPI target for that month. And it's suggesting I use a different visual. I'm not going to take that. I quite like that. I think that can be powerful if it's explained. I might have to put some more annotation on to make it easier to identify the months that what that information's been told. But I'll have the report text as well to cross-reference it. Got some general suggestions as well. I do like this idea of annotations. I probably haven't annotated it enough, so I'm going to experiment and explore that. I think the rest of it's fine. There's a lot of consistency anyway, so it doesn't seem to have picked up on that, but that's fine. I know there's consistency in the font styles and sizes I've used, and I think that's absolutely fine. So what I wanted to do really with this walkthrough is to say, if I can use ChatGPT as my data visualization soundboarding buddy coach, and this is what it would do. You can give it the information, you can give it the brief, you can upload the document if you want ChatGPT 4, a visual of what you've created. It can start to analyze and explore and experiment with those.